Hey YouTube, how you doing today? Hey, these are the lights that we're going to be installing on our maxed 14-foot roll-off dump trailer. So these are made by Roadshock. They're Harbor Freight specials, but I love my Harbor Freight. So we're going to be installing this 42-inch light bar, and then we have the 6-inch floods. Don't know exactly where we're going to mount them. Haven't really looked at it yet. I know I'm going to mount the cube somewhere up on the pillar, the upright, to give me to cast some light down the sides of the trailer, so I can, pay attention to what's going on with the items in my hands or whatnot. Give myself a little bit of light rather than wearing an LED headlight on my head. So, anyway, these are the lights. Roadshock, again, Harbor Freight. We don't know what they're gonna do, but hey, it is what it is. So it says they're dust tight and they're submersible. I don't know about that submersible part, but as long as as long as they're water resistant, that's all that matters to me. We won't be putting these in the water, so but they will see some rain. Anyway, keep following along the video to see what happens. We're gonna get these on the trailer. Thanks. All right, all right, all right. How you doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? All right, today is the day we're gonna install these lights. We're gonna put these, I believe, somewhere, of course, in the rear. Haven't decided if I'm gonna put it on the tail section of the tilt or behind the fender. So I'll show you that in a second. Also, we are going to mount the light bar definitely there. That's gonna be the spot that's gonna give me that light I need when I'm backing up. So that's gonna work out there. And as far as the rear of the trailer, I don't know if I want to put the lights, let's see, have not decided if I'm going to put them behind the wheels on the fender here, or if I'm going to place them on the tilt area here, like underneath that reverse light. But I'm thinking to place it there. Actually, I'm sorry, not underneath it, because it would hit the ground when I would go to dump, but just underneath the rails right here where that red tape is. That way I can kind of point them right at the can, but I'm thinking I'd rather just light the ground up and put it here, and I should be able to see it. If I can see the sides of the can, I can light it up. I know a lot of guys. Oh wow. I know a lot of guys use cameras, and I'm not knocking that, but I can line up the can with, by aligning the center of the fender and the outriggers on the can, and that's pretty much dead on every time. So as long as I got some light and I can see it, I'm golden there. Although the camera would help you be a little bit more accurate, a little faster. But I don't get it every time on the first try, but it's usually the first couple tries at night, but which I get really frustrated at. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna get these installed on here and give them a test run tonight. I don't have any cans to pick up or drop off today. But yeah, I'm excited about this one, the light bar especially. Like I said, at night, that thing is, you're trying to line up a black can with a black trailer, and you can't see anything. It's pitch black. I've just been so lucky to get these late night drop-offs. But anyway, we'll be back and we'll show you the end result here and what happens. All right, we are finally gonna show the install. Not so much show the install, but show the finished result of the LEDs I installed on my trailer. So I got these, wouldn't you know it, as soon as I start recording, the neighbor opens up, starts up his skid steer and starts to do work. Anyway, we're gonna power through it. I installed these 3-inch floods on the back side of the fender on each side. So you got one there and one over here. So those are pretty good as far as lighting up the ground behind the trailer when you're backing up. I just ran the wire straight across the frame rail from one side to the next, and then ran the wires for the lights. There's a tube already. Actually, if you can see it, it's right here. There's a tube that runs to the nose of the trailer. So I just fished the wire through there for the lights in the rear. Anyway, the power line runs up to the front, and then it tucks inside the toolbox here. Now, I have a 42-inch light bar at the top. Let me see if I can get up there and get a better look at it. 42-inch light bar centered on top of the tray here for the manual tarp, and we just fixed it up here. I did order the wiring kit. I'm sorry, I didn't order it. I purchased the wiring kit at Harbor Freight that's associated with this brand of lights. So I didn't use the kit in whole. I hacked it up to use the plugs, so that way if one of the lights fell, I can just unplug it and replace it. Anyway, so the wire for the 42-inch light bars here meets up, comes down here into the toolbox, along with the wires for the power tarp and the light kit, and yeah, the other control wire for the power tarp. Anyway, comes down here in the toolbox. I put a loop here in case water gets in here. I've got some black silicone to fill in this grommet here. I believe that's what it's called. I forget what it's called. I got a whole pack of these things, like 30 of them, all various sizes. That was the largest one I had, and I had to drill it out a little bit on the inside to fit the multiple wires in there, because I didn't want to keep making holes over here. And I figured, you know, one hole, one leak. So I'm gonna hit that with some silicone. Anyway, I put a droop in here in case water does run down through. It will drip out and it won't follow the wire. Anyway, here's the wire for the two rear lights behind the fenders. I have them coming up across the toolbox past the US Tarps kit assembly, and this, I forget the brand of this, but I'll add it in the video later. This, I got the idea to use that from Rubbish Pro. I follow him on his YouTube channel. That's what initially inspired me to do the lights, other than the fact that I needed them. But as far as like this particular unit, I got that from him. I've seen it. I mean, there's multiple units on Amazon, but that's the one he went with. So I just made it easy. I just clicked on the link and purchased the thing, and went from there. So it's essentially, you got the two lines to supply power off the battery. Comes up here, supplies power to the unit itself, and then you got your hot and your ground for the lights. So I mean, it works both ways, doesn't matter. Anyway, and I have a little remote. Let me grab that out of the truck. Let's see, excuse the mess, been working today. Let's see. So I have this remote here, so you'll hear it click. You actually hear audible click. Let's see. So that I can, from inside the cab, I can turn the lights off and on. So when I pull up and I need to light something up, I can just reach down by the shifter, and because I keep it hanging there on the shifter, the column shift, and I can turn the lights off and on. So here's on, off. Same thing back here. And I mean, it puts out way more light than I was expecting. Way more light than I was expecting. I thought I was gonna have to add like a full-on light bar at the frame back here. I was actually gonna mount one on this rail on the bottom side, because you can't mount anything to this rail because this is the rail that tilts. So I was thinking, man, I'll put another 42-inch light bar underneath that one and it'll really light things up. But I'm truly under the impression now that that would be overkill. I mean, it's bad enough when I pull into a neighborhood like I was in last night in Scottsdale. I mean, it really lights things up. So it's more than enough light to see down the sides of the trailer. I did purchase a couple of cube lights, and I was gonna mount one on each side in this area somewhere. So that, and have them angled down at like a 45 to kind of light up the areas alongside the trailer here. When I'm walking back and forth, I don't mind wearing a LED headlight at night, but really the only thing I need to see when the lights are on is the remote. So it makes it easier for me when I'm using the up and down on the tilt. I don't sometimes I have to I'll grab the remote and I'll make sure I got it in the right position, because when it's dangling around your neck, all the controls are backwards. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I really like the setup. It wasn't really expensive. I didn't spend a ton of money on the light bar there. Again, guys, this is all Harbor Freight stuff. I mean, it's gonna get wet, it's gonna get beat up. I don't see the point in spending a bunch of money on a rigid light bar and just to do the same exact job. I mean, if this thing lasts a year or two, I got my money out of it. I'll buy another one. And it's a combination. You can't tell on the video, but the 4 cubes on each end are flood, and then all the cubes between the 4 on each end are spot. So they shine straight back, and then the other ones are flood. So I mean, this thing, it does the job. This thing's been, it rained all the last 2 weeks here in Phoenix. So this thing's been outside in the rain. I've been waiting to see some moisture building up behind the lens, but it has not yet on any of the lights. So as long as it stays sealed and it functions, I'm good. If it starts burning LEDs out and I'm down to like 30% visibility, then I'll swap it out. But until then, we're gonna check it out and see what it does. Again, it surprised me. I had no idea it was gonna be that bright. Like I said, it's almost overkill, if you can even think that. But yeah, it's fairly simple. Those grommets, I got all that stuff off of Amazon when I installed my tarp kit, because this trailer didn't come with the tarp kit. I paid right about $2,000 for it. That included shipping, and had to install it myself. Unfortunately, the videos I've shot in the last few weeks, all the audio was compromised, so I have not put out anything because I basically ruined all the footage I had. So anyway, I installed the tarp kit, auto tarp kit, which I love. I don't know how I was doing without it. I do not like getting on top of the bins and making sure everything's down below level so that I can manually tarp it. It is a pain in the butt. I am going to keep the manual tarp kit on there because I hope to eventually in the future get some of the 14-yard bins that are much lower than the 20s, and then I'll use the auto tarp kit on that, or I'm sorry, the manual tarp kit on those if need be, because it's so much lower. But I like having the option, but works out just fine. I also plan on maybe upgrading to the different rating of, I forgot what these are. I do recall seeing something on one of the groups on Facebook about a guy in Texas that had 17.5-inch rims with the higher rated tires. I believe it's a H rating, I think. Basically a semi-truck tire, so it's a much thicker carcass. You get more wear out of it. Anyway, but long term, yeah, I'd like to end up with a hook lift, or a truck to where I can pull the cans right on the truck. I don't care if it's a hook lift or a cable pull. I do have plans on fabricating a dual rail system for this, so I can haul all the PJs and maxed bins as well as standard rails. That's the short long-term plan. So that way I can be able to get any of those cans of a 14 foot or so length on this trailer. So I started with this because that's what I can afford, and we're just going to keep moving it up from there. And because sometimes back in this truck and trailer combination into some of these spots is a pain. If you got a truck, you can just back right up to it. I don't mind the winch and the cable. Doesn't bother me one bit. It doesn't have to be a hook lift. I know the hook lift's the rage. It's easy. It's blah blah blah. But you know, they've been using those rail trucks with cables for years, and they're going to continue to use them for years. So winches aren't that expensive. The hydraulics involved in the hook lift, and it's just, you know, the more moving pieces you have, obviously the more you have to repair. Not that it breaks all the time. It's just, for me, I need to keep it simple, you know, the KISS theory on that one. Anyway, guys, that's enough. I'm starting to ramble, but yeah, this is my setup. I'm working on getting some power back here in my shop area. Is what I call it. I got a Connex box here, and my carport here, which it's not weatherproof. Rain does get in there, it does leak. I believe it's leaking because the building itself is canted in the wrong direction, so the water's running underneath the panels instead of the water running onto the off of the overlapping panel and then running backwards. It's running the wrong way, so I need to shim it up in the front or rear. I have not got it there and double checked it. But I want to make sure all the panels are all facing the same, or, you know, layered in the right direction. Like this first set should be overlapping the next set, and those should be overlapping the third set, like shingles, but essentially. And then raising the front over here on each side, so that way the water runs from the front to the back, and that way it won't run underneath the panels. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm hoping to pour some concrete back here on the other side of this Connex and build a large canopy, so that way we'll have somewhere to park the trailers out of the sun in the Arizona summer, and I'll have somewhere to work on them. And we got some, we're working on getting some power out here, 100 amp box. We'll have it hung on this side of this Connex pretty soon, so that way we can weld and fabricate and everything else out here. Anyway, like I said, I'm starting to ramble, so let's wrap it up. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell anybody. Either watch the channel to laugh at me or laugh with me. Doesn't matter to me as long as you watch. So peace. Appreciate it. Thanks.